What's up YouTube? It is your boy Lowpes and welcome back to another video. And today's an exciting video because we are working on the 2018 Civic SI. 2018 Civic SI, and we're gonna do some performance mods and some bolt-ons finally. And let me show you what's up. You say what's up to Alex. He's just working on his TL right now. He probably looks familiar from our last couple of videos now. So let's get into it. Let me show you the parts, and it's quite exciting. What's up? We got some PRL parts. It's been a while, but finally we got it. We've been waiting on these parts, and if you guys can see, it says CAI. So we are doing the Cobra intake, and we are gonna have to do the windshield wiper windshield wiper reservoir relocate because the one from Canada gets in the way, and I'll show you guys what's up. We got to extend the wiring, the tubing, and all that. So once Mr. Alex is almost done with his TL type slow, we are going to get into this, and we're gonna have to take off the bumper from the Civic and to get into this. So inside the reservoir box, you're going to get OEM parts, which are really cool, and this is the parts from the States that basically make this whole thing work, because the reservoir from the Canadian SIs don't work with the cold air intake, the Cobra. So we have that to relocate. And then they gave us all the fittings, tubings, and wiring and all that stuff. And now let me show you what comes with the intake. So this is everything that comes in the box for the Cobra intake. License plate, filter, some big ass piping. That I went with the street MAF, not a race MAF, because I don't want to get a tune yet. We'll get a tune eventually. Maybe we'll switch that out, make a few extra horsepowers. Some piping, tubing, hardware. And Alex is still talking, just talking. All I hear is like the parrot behind me. Just I say something and so the worst part of this whole intake is going to be taking off the bumper. For you guys in the States, you guys probably don't have to take off the bumper. You can do the intake completely from the top. But because we have to do the reservoir relocate, the bumper is going to have to come off. Okay, so what we have to do is we took off 2 screws from the side, 2 bolts from the left of the bumper, 2 bolts from the right of the bumper, and there's clips all underneath. All right, so then now what we got to do is take these clips off from up top over here, and it will loosen the whole bumper, and let's see if it'll come out. All right, so we're working slowly from the left side to the right side. Just keep slowly, just like that. Be very careful. It's a little scary because we've never taken this out before.
Yeah, I got it up.
All right.
Wait.
Yeah, we got the fog lights attached. So the whole plan is the intake is going to come from up here, and it's going to come down, and this gets in the way. This reservoir right here. If it focuses in. And what we're going to have to do is move it to this side here. So that's the extra steps you got to take for doing the Canadian Cobra intake from PRL, which is an awesome product, and I'm happy to install it on the car. So you're going to start off by removing all the clips. All your plugs. You're going to start off by removing the 10 mils that are attached to the reservoir. In the comments down below, I will leave a timestamp of when just the PRL intake is going to get installed, not the reservoir. So anyone from the States, you guys don't have to do this. So I'll do that for you guys. There's a 10 mil
right behind the
reservoir. So we've taken one out down in this area right there.
It's between the fender liner and the reservoir.
Yep.
There's one bolt back here, 10 mil.
There you go. If you guys haven't noticed, Mr. Alex is rocking the new apparel of 2019. Christopher Lopes apparel.
Oh, good.
Now model it. Bam. So we've removed the pump that was there. You just pull it out, and you're able to drain it a lot quicker. And instead of waiting for it to go through the pump itself, so you just pull it from top to bottom, and it comes out. And what I'm talking about is this piece right here. So it was just sitting in there like that, and you just pull it down and it comes off. And just like I said, make sure you take off all the plugs.
Come on, man.
Holy moly.
It's new or nothing, bud.
So what'd you do there, Alex? What bolt did you just take out?
There's 3 bolts, 3 10 mil.
So there's a 10 mil bottom left, one behind, and where was the other one?
Up here.
Up there?
Yeah, deep into here.
That's one behind?
No, there's one behind.
Yeah.
The fender liner in the frame, and then there's one right here in between.
And then there's one bottom left.
Yeah.
And here is our old washer fluid reservoir, which we won't be needing anymore. All right.
There goes that.
So to remove that is as simple as just like using a flathead and prying it out from the clip. And once again, the bottom connects to the reservoir, and now you just kind of gotta fish it up. What's gonna happen is this is gonna sit up here. This guy is gonna sit in here.
And then I'm feeding this out of here. Getting this out because I'm assuming this is getting all transferred to the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're called flower clips or daisy clips. I'm kind of just making that up, but I might be right. I'm holding this hood so you don't get smacked in the fork. Another one bites the dust. So just unplug it, then fish it through. Because we're gonna have to relocate from right to left.
I'm trying to transfer that over
to the other side over here. Yeah. It's kind of cool that they have all the existing holes on the other side. I guess all the models are somewhat similar, but American to Canadian have different washer fluid reservoir, which I really don't know why, but if any of you guys know down below, let us know, because I'm just as curious as Alex is. Okay, so what Alex did was there was a clip that was here. You took it off with a flathead and we relocated to the other side. You'll see the clip. So it's this clip right there, that white one.
This one here too.
And then we're gonna need to take off this guy as well. And we're gonna put it on the other side, because we're gonna have to run all this tubing from this side, driver's side.
We don't even need that.
Alexander, it's long enough.
Great effort.
That's horrible. That was a horrible accent. We are just flipping the part, that T-joint there. It's just, you pull it out and put it back in. I think it should be fine like that, but they give us a new part.
It's the same thing.
It's exactly the same part. I guess if you lose it, they give you a replacement part. But we're just gonna flip it so that there's a better angle going to the passenger side of the car, comparable to going to the driver's side of the car. Second step is done. We've relocated the tubing that goes into the washer reservoir. Really easy. They give you extra tubing and all that, so then this will cover all this, so you're not going to see that anyway, even though this is dirty as well. Unfortunately, we thought this was going to be a direct swap, but it's not. So where the pump goes, our gasket, the Canadian version, is too big, so we have to get a Dremel and just
round the hole just a little bit bigger so you can put the gasket like where it's still nice and tight, and then you'll be able to feed this in. But then another issue with this is the sensor for the...
Let's show them the Canadian version. So the Canadian version right here.
The sensor for the light for when you're low, the American version doesn't have the spot to put it. And that's an issue right now. And so yeah, I think we have to makeshift something here in order to get the sensor in place, because
nothing's ever easy when we come to install. And the problem is there's not a lot of information out there about this. And we thought it might have been a direct fit. Like, obviously they're different, right? But we thought that even the American models would have a sensor saying how low they would be. So now we got to makeshift something, kind of drill a hole and see if we can make it work with this sensor. So you guys got to give us, it'll be seconds for you guys, but we're going to take a little time and kind of see our best option where to drill and if this is even possible, which I think it's
going to have to
be
go
right there on an angle.
Yeah.
We got to hope it doesn't leak too. It's got to be perfect. That's the problem. Anyone who has a US model, let me know down below if you guys have a light saying you're low on fluid, which I think you should, because you know,
theirs is probably wired up different.
Yeah.
The car's just wasn't made with the sensor in it.
Yeah. Just a little odd. This is what we came up with. We had a clip here that would not fit anyway, so we shaved it down with a Dremel, and now
we put the other gasket for the sensor, put it around here, kind of where it's kind of flat, and then we're kind of hoping that this is gonna work out.
Yeah.
And
so we're trying to figure this out as we go, so we can have the sensor on here, so I won't have another check engine light. our drill's broken, so we're gonna try doing this with the Dremel, and wish us luck. This is do-it-yourself at its finest, where you would have to put a bolt in on the other side. This doesn't work anyway, so...
Yeah, this bolt, you can't even bolt it. So this is basically eliminated. Holy fuck. Eliminated. So it's just these two that you gotta bolt in, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you gotta even shave this one, put this in here, and then... Yeah, and then...
It's a bit of a pain, but... Luckily, it's one of the better intakes on the market, but it is still a bit of a pain, so... We're going to try using a Dremel and see if we can get this done. It's actually going through it quite easily. I'm happy that it did work, and we tested it. It's not leaking, so make sure to water it and you test it. And now we gotta run the wiring and the tubing, and once that's done, we're gonna get into the intake. This is taking a lot longer than anticipated because of the custom work that we have to do. Once we've done that, we haven't done any wiring. We're gonna put the top part where you fill it up, and they just kind of click in together, and then you have a clip near Alex's eyebrow. So maybe advice for the future as we're learning to do this, run this first, and then you'd probably be able to clip in the reservoir to it easier, instead of trying to do what we're doing now, trying to snaking it through. So remember, run that first and put that up, click it in, put the 2 bolts in, and then your pump, sensors, reservoir, and all that type of stuff there. We've put the original clip back in that was on the other side, and we put the cap. Now this is stirred in here, not gonna go anywhere. And now we're gonna look at moving the wiring, which I think this is gonna be a little bit of a pain in the butt. But what we're doing is unraveling all the current wiring so that we can attach other wiring to it, or like the longer, and extend it all the way across. And let's see if we have enough wiring to make this work.
So we're gonna have to snip this, the 2 sensors that were plugged into here. We're gonna have to strip it, and then we're gonna have to run each wire and bring it over to that side. So we're gonna have to fish it somewhere decent, and
let's see if we can get it plugged in to these sensors over here.
yeah.
So PRL did end up giving us some wiring, but that's only for one sensor. That's not for the second sensor. So you're going to need probably more wiring to make this work. And yeah, it's been a bit of a pain, I'm not going to lie, but we are getting through it. We are soldiering through it. And then this top part here where we actually did intake should be a lot easier. And if that's all we had to do and we're in the United States of America,
This would have been done a long time
ago. A long time ago. The video would have been like 6 minutes. This has been a lot more troublesome than we anticipated. We thought that this would come with enough wire for all the wires, but it doesn't, because we have to extend 4 wires, and we only had enough wiring from PRL for one. Oh, it's getting sunny. Let me just fix myself here. So we only had enough wiring for one, and I ran out of extra. Was it 14 gauge wire or 16? 14. Yeah, so 14 gauge wire. So I had to go Canadian Tire, go grab some 14 gauge wire, and we just had to extend it all. I'm going to show you what we did. So where Alex is working is where we snipped all the wires from the, not the harness, but where your plugs are, and we have to extend the plugs all the way to the other side of the reservoir. So what we did, snip them, used our wiring, kind of just wired it up all by itself, so singular from each wire. You have a power and a ground, and we ran it underneath and brought it all the way over here. As you see, now these are plugged in, and we ran it underneath, and we're gonna zip tie it. And what we're doing now is just putting, I was gonna say duct tape, but we're putting electrical tape all around it to keep it safe. And then I bought some tubing to go over it to keep it safe from it, you know, winters and all that type of stuff. And when you do this, you want to make sure you keep it tight, but at the same time you don't want it too tight, so if there's a bump or anything, it'll kind of come loose.
There's one screw here for this intake box.
All right.
So there's one bolt here.
And now we're gonna get on to doing the actual intake here. Finally, and it should be pretty easy. Very simple. Start taking the MAP sensors out. It came with a MAP sensor, so we won't need this one. But yeah, let's get to it. Remove the sensor, the intake MAP sensor. It's 2 Phillips, and then just unplug it like I just currently did. And now you're gonna take off the clamp that holds this box here. and we're going to replace all this lovely stuff here. And then you have another clamp right here with the Phillips.
And that's stripped.
It's already stripped. Fantastic. There you go. So, number one done. So the first bolt you need to take off is right there. That is at the top right of the box over here. And then there's one down here, but we're gonna need another extension. And there's one right down here, which we'll need an extension for. If you guys can see this, see if I can brighten it up a bit. Yeah, down there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there. Now we're using a double extension to get that bolt that is really far down there. And that is a 12, Alex?
10.
A 10 as well. So far everything's been a 10. And after those two bolts, things are starting to look a little looser. And there you
Pop
go.
it up.
So for this part of the intake box, you're gonna have two 10 bolts underneath. The first one that we loosen is there, and then we're gonna have another one underneath as well. It's gonna be pretty easy to locate because it's just gonna be the other side of this. So get underneath your car, jack it up, and do that. If you have to do the relocate kit like us, you're gonna have the car jacked up no matter what, so you'll be good to go. That is the other part of the intake box that we took out. And now, I think we're ready for business. This looks all pretty opened up. There's a PRL, and we're gonna match with the PRL Cobra intake. So once you remove the intake box, there's gonna be a bracket right here where you're gonna have to take off. There's two screws, and just remove that. And then after this, we should be getting into installing the intake itself. That was the bracket that we removed with two bolts. And on to the next step. We fed down the plastic part of the intake through in here. We loosened it so we're able to turn it. So we pushed this part in and then turned it to sit like this. And now Alex is putting in one of the brackets. As you see, it's inserted there at the bottom. And now we are putting the bracket there, and we're tightening it by hand. Alex, want me to hold that for you?
No, I'm okay.
After we've put that plastic in, one of the brackets you see is right here, and it has 3 bolts. They actually provide the bolts for you. And then we've put it in and just kind of snugged it by hand loose, just so we have some leeway to play with. We've had to remove this bolt here where the clutch wire is, and we're going to put that black plastic piece that comes with it, and that's going to basically push this back like that so that we can mount the mount that connects the plastic part of this intake. By the looks of it, it's the Allen key that fits with the plastic relocate kind of bracket thing that comes with it. And like I said, so that you put that black plastic piece in, and what that's going to do is push back your clutch line so that you're allowed to use the bracket to basically tie into that, or like bolt into that, so that we can keep it sturdy. We've put the bracket in now. Alex is tightening it. It just goes to the 2 existing holes. You'll see how it lines up. It should align only one way, so you shouldn't have any issues putting it in. Once again, we have another issue. So as the Chris Lowpes installs go, they never go smoothly, and I'm gonna show you what's up. One of the hoses that we got within the box is incorrect. This intake hose here is supposed to connect to here, which works fine on this end. But this end is supposed to connect to the MAF sensor area where it holds it in, and as you can see, it's way too big. And this side connects to the bottom of that hose. So we're gonna continue with the install. We're gonna show you how to do that, and then tomorrow I'm gonna have to go exchange this to get another one, hopefully. So now we are connecting the bottom of this hose to the plastic part down there, and then we're just using the clamps there to tighten it. It's pretty simple. And once you've put that in, the MAF sensor is supposed to sit like this.
Like that. Like that.
And then this tube would sit here. But this is the incorrect intake tube. Okay, so what we decided to do is we tried making this hose work. It is definitely too big, but as you can see,
This is tight, man.
we kind of just tightened it to see if it would work.
You gotta remember the main thing's right here, eh?
Yeah, so this actually might work.
Maybe
I'll get that replaced, but I'll be able to drive, which is good. Which goes right there. And then we're gonna put the bumper back on, and there you go. And that's how you make a shitty situation not a shitty. Alex is like, why don't we just try tightening it up and see what happens? And we tightened it up, and it's actually sealing pretty well. and it's good, it's not gonna leak, but it's not supposed to be like that. So we're gonna try like tomorrow I'm gonna go back and exchange the tube and see which one they give us, like the intake tube there, and see if it's the exact same, which I don't think it will be, but we'll double check. We're gonna put everything back together, then we'll get some in-car footage and hopefully hear some cool somewhat noises like that. It's kind of, you get a bit of a surge like that, but it's not obviously like a blow-off valve. But see you in the next clip. It should be fun. So that's the TSP tune we have on there, and it's compatible with this. And what we're checking right now is knock count. Turn that to me a little bit so they can see. Knockout, PSI, IATs, and our AFRs, air fuels. So we're gonna keep an eye on that and make sure that the tune is compatible, which they say it is, but we're always gonna double check. So traction control off, sport mode on. Let's see if the washer fluid works. Success. So for anyone who's new to the channel, on the car right now we have a PRL Cobra intake, obviously, PRL down pipe and front pipe, and a muffler delete. Oh yeah, you hear that more. Ooh, you hear that more. Nice. That was just a little bit, and you already heard that kind of the cold air working there. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it through the video, but we're getting a nice noise coming through, and it's like a sucking noise, obviously, through the cold air. And this wire's kind of bothering me, but let's see. We just entered Mexico. Too bad. The car seems to push a little better. It's not a... Oh, we have the Mexican police. So the car does seem to push a little better. We did get some knocks on there though. And I don't know, that was nice actually. That was the noises sound nice. This is like, it's better than getting a blow-off valve. It's safer. That sounds good. That sounds pretty badass. Holy shit. That sounds badass. I like it. So blow-off valves for the car, if you don't have the car built or you don't have it tuned for a blow-off valve, is actually really bad. Especially when you vent to atmosphere. It's horrible for your car. It messes up your fuel trims. So this is the safest way to get a similar noise, and that is what we kind of accomplished today. So far everything looks like it's running. Looks like we got a bit of knock though, which isn't the greatest, but the difference is we don't know if it's a ghost knock or it's an actual knock. What I've noticed is that the rev, not the rev hang, but the throttle response is actually a lot better. Like even in like low RPMs, it's actually really good. I'm really surprised. I'm sure once you've tuned the intake or tuned the car with the intake and everything, it would obviously sound better and it would make more power and your fuel trims and everything would be perfect. The TSP tune by Derek Robertson is supposed to be actually really good. So this is working for what it is.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, the air fuels and everything, the trim's staying well. We're getting quite a bit of knock. That's the only thing that...
Just at idle, it's going to 15. It's just...
It's fluctuating a little bit there.
To 15, it's just a little bit, but it's okay.
It's got a...
It's good though, even when you're like full throttling, it was like 11.2.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
I'm gonna see if we can get one more rip here in Mexico. See, that was nice. After I let go third gear, you heard a nice surge, like a which is nice. Supposedly this is supposed to give you some gains. I got the street map, so it's not as like, you're not gonna get the craziest gains, but not bad. I feel a bit of a difference, not huge. It's not the craziest butt dyno in the world, but I do feel a bit of a difference, especially in the throttle response. That's probably the biggest difference I feel. Like I just, I don't know. I hope you guys can hear this. I hope you guys can hear that because this sounds freaking awesome. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a little drive-by. I'm gonna drop Alex off here at the side of Mexico. This is New Mexico City and Guantanamera. All in all, everything worked out fantastic. I'm really happy with it. We had to modify it, as you guys saw. So if PRL, you're watching, there's a few things that maybe you guys can do on your end to make us Canadians and our lives a little easier, because like I said, I couldn't find anything really on this. This is the first time I did it, and we have no engine lights, no nothing. Everything looks great. Fuel trims look fantastic, and I'm happy with that. Even though we had to do small modifications, the intake itself with the street map works great. And there's a fly around me, around my ear. Get out of here, buddy. I'm super happy with the product. Trying to put all quality parts, PRL, QD, OEM, and then we have a few little eBay carbon parts just to look better. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Peace out. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe for more videos. Peace. Do it once, do it right. Later.